Well, today I think I'm going to put this Pettibone loader back together. Got this pile of parts sitting here. And I've got this loader taking up my shop. So it's time to make them one. See if we can't get this thing out of here. It's been a couple days since we fixed this tube. This right stuff's nice and dry. I blew on it just with my mouth, not with the air hose or anything like I was before. And it doesn't seem to be leaking at all. I didn't want to put any more pressure on it than that, because even if it isn't leaking, put 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 psi to it with the air hose and it's gonna find a way out. So let's put a loader back together. Well, the first thing I need to do is finagle this pickup tube back in there, so we're going to do that. So what we've got on here is just 3 O-rings. I'm hoping that'll take the place of those, or that goofy donut thing. What I'm gonna do, clean the threads up really good. And I don't want to crank this thing down stupid tight and end up crushing the tube like it was before. I want enough tension on it that it seals, and that's it. So I'm also going to put a little bit of red Loctite on those threads. So what I did is I went until I could just feel that thing snugging up a little bit, pretty good. Not crazy tight, but not loose either. I want it just tight enough that it seals, but not tight enough that it starts to smush the pipe down. Those 3 O-rings fit pretty snug in the case, and they're pretty snug on the tube. So even with that thing loose, it would probably seal better than it was before. It's still not perfect. Now we gotta put the bearing on for the turbine shaft, or the input shaft to the transmission. Now we'll put the other turbine shaft or input shaft on. It's quite an interesting setup on how this works. So how this works is it's got two turbines inside the torque converter. One's bigger, one's smaller. They both are attached to these. They've got different gear ratios. So this is the one with the lower gear ratio. And how it works is once it gets moving fast enough and the RPMs of the engine come up enough, that second turbine actually takes over and overdrives that first one. And that first one can just kind of be along for the ride. The little bit that it did work after I got this thing back together last time, it actually worked really well. So now we'll get to cleaning. We'll get this gasket surface all cleaned up. I scraped some of it off, but now I gotta do more. Once we do that, I'll get some anaerobic on it, and we'll put it back together. That apparently wants to leak some oil out, so I'll leave that rag in it for a little bit. It'll wick out whatever is going to come out, hopefully. Okay, I got the anaerobic on it. I got all the input stuff for the transmission on it, the seal rings here. There's a seal ring actually behind here on this shaft. That's on it. So now I guess I clean this surface up and try to get it up there without getting it all dirty. This case half did go in the parts washer, so it is not dirty, but I just wiped it off with some cleaner, well, some ether and a rag. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it up there hanging on those shafts, and then I'm going to clean that surface off one more time. It's pretty inevitable that I'm going to get it all dirty. And I did. Boy, I would have left that hose off if I'd have realized it was in my way that much on assembly of this thing. Oh well. Okay. I guess I wanted to go in that time. So all these bearings on these shafts, like the pump drive shafts and the shaft down here that's got the sprag clutch in it, all those bearings are press fit into this case or into the other case on the pump's side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start all the bolts. I'll just go around it really gently and pull it in. I don't like pulling things together with bolts, but sometimes that's your option. And it's either that or I just sit here and beat on it with a hammer, and I don't want to do that either. So I'll put all the bolts in and gingerly snug it up. Okay, there's a plastic sealing ring in here. It is in there. I glued it in with some trans gel. Whoa. Go away, little feller. Might be a touch overkill. But it's what I got. Now both the snap rings gotta go on. Wow, that one is the real deal. See if I can use this on these, or on this. Oh, looking good. Yeah. Helps you put it on there, right? Derp. And there's this big old square cut O-ring. Well, wasn't that fun? Now, the best I can tell, there's no way to clock this. It's not marked anywhere. And both pieces appear to be individually balanced. So. And I'm pretty sure that O-ring fell out. This is gonna be a good time. Guess I'm getting some trans gel to put this O-ring in with. There. Try this again. Not very good lock nuts anymore. I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. I don't like the way those lock nuts don't really do anything. I mean, I'm not gonna keep anything from falling apart if those fall off. So all I did to fix these nuts was put the edge of them in the vise ever so slightly and tighten the vise until I can just barely see these starting to flex in, and that's all it took. I had a bolt over by the vise that I used to check, make sure they all bent a little bit, just enough so it gives it a little grab so there's some sort of a lock there. Not enough that you're going to mess threads up, but just enough to make it so they don't just finger tight on and off, you know. I prefer nylon locking nuts, but on a torque converter this is going to get hot, so that's not really going to work so hot. Literally. I don't need this extension, but this little gun's a little spicy, so just to reduce torque a little bit. That's got to be all of them. Well, now we'll go get the cover and we'll put some anaerobic on this bad ride and put that together too. Well, that should do it. Once again, I'm going to draw it up with the bolts a little bit. Or not. Now really the only thing left is to put this drive shaft yoke on and put the drive shaft on, and the transmission side of it will be done. And of course, some Permatex right stuff. Oh, don't tell me I messed these threads up by banging on them with a hammer. There's a distinct possibility though. Well, that was safe. What could have possibly gone wrong? Well, shit. That didn't work like I wanted it to. Guess I'll go find all those bolts. Hopefully the thing doesn't fall on my head in the meantime. Well, as neat as it would have been from a video standpoint if I forgot these two lines, I sure am glad I didn't. I guess I'll put these on now. Well, really seems like they can only go one spot, so. I know you really can't see what I'm doing, but frankly, neither can I. This one I can't. But I just want to be done under here. I'm warm. All right, I believe that is everything down here. A couple more things left to do up top, and yeah, a moment of truth. Gosh, I hope this thing moves. All right. Basically all we have left up here is hook this main hydraulic line up and put some hydraulic oil in it. I'm gonna toss 5 gallons in it, just enough so everything's got lube. I don't care if everything's got everything. I'm not gonna operate any of it, I'm just gonna see if the dang thing moves. Then, one of these steering cylinders on this thing's really leaky. I'm gonna unhook it and put some caps on the lines, because that's my next project. I'm gonna fix that. And it may well be, for the most part, out of oil by now. And I don't want to fill it all back up to take it all back out. So we'll do this. So I did put a new O-ring in this. Brand spanky. Wow, and dirty, holy crap. Clean some of that garbage off of there. So, in theory, this thing won't leak everywhere. You know, theory. Theory is always good. Because I'm a farmer, and this is okay if you're a farmer. Don't get me wrong, I'd never do this on somebody else's junk. Perfectly fine on my junk though. No, all I got left to do is cap those 2 hydraulic lines on the steering cylinder and, well, add some hydraulic oil.